Welcome to Dan's haunted cottage. Step inside if you dare.
Right, good morning out there, YouTube lads and lasses. I hope everybody's doing fine and dandy on this fine morning. It is crisp but not sunny out there, but it's a good morning. Now, I was asked recently by a subscriber, Pearlman, Purlman, if I could put up a video on safety when you're out there investigating on your own. Now, this is relevant to ghost hunters, paranormal investigators, as much as it is to urban explorers. Pearlman himself is more of an urban explorer, but he also incorporates some of the paranormal into his channel. He does some great videos. I love watching his videos because the places he goes to, they're very unusual. They're sort of disused or they're abandoned, and that speaks to me quite a lot. And he does it with a friend, or he does it on his own on occasion. So he's asked if I could put up a video regarding the safety when you're out there. Now, I don't do it so much now. I used to do lots and lots of investigating ghost hunts on my own years ago. But generally now you'll find me with either one or two other people, at the very least. Sometimes I'll go out with teams or go out with groups. So I'm pretty safe. And the areas that I go to are quite well known. They're quite well lit, and they're also indoors. So all your safety points are covered there. However, if I used to go on an investigation and take myself off to the nowhere and just set myself up, I would always let 3 or 4 people know exactly where I was going. I would also let them know what time frame I was going to be doing the investigation from and to. So I could say to them, look, I'm going to leave here tonight 8 o'clock. I'll probably be back at 4 or 5 in the morning. And then if I didn't return at 4 or 5 in the morning, then they could either try and contact me, or I would contact them to let them know what was going on, which brings me to another point. Always take a mobile phone with you, but not just a mobile phone. Make sure it's charged up to the full extent, and also make sure that you've got at least one charger with you. Make sure that you take a charging bank for your phone, 2 if you can, possibly, because phones may drain for whatever reason. I don't know, but if you're out there and you fall over and you injure yourself, the worst thing you can do is not be able to contact anybody, particularly if it's freezing weather and you're miles and miles away from the nearest person. So you need to make sure that you do that. Another thing that I used to take with me, I don't so much now, and I used to also do this when I used to go camping, because I used to do a lot of camping on my own years ago. I always used to take basically an alert whistle or a safety whistle, so that if I fell over and I injured myself, I'd be able to get in contact, well, not get in contact, but I'd be able to alert people to where I was, purely and simply by using the whistle to attract attention. That's a must, absolute must. What else would I use? I think that covers the basics, I think. Always take a first aid kit if you can. It doesn't have to be anything big, just something like painkillers, a few plasters, just basics really. If you break your leg out there, there's nothing in a first aid kit that's going to help you bind it or bond it until you can get to the emergency services or to a hospital. So yeah, these are just for basic things. And another thing, when you're out there and you're on your own, I don't think it's a good idea. Obviously, it's up to you. Everybody's got their own ideas and they work to different parameters. But I really don't think it's a good idea if you go into a disused building to be going around areas where the floor is obviously rotten or falling through, because there's nobody there to help you. And even with a whistle, if you're in the middle of nowhere, people aren't going to know. They're not going to hear you. They're not going to see you. They're not going to go into a building that's abandoned unless, of course, it happens to be another investigator or another urban explorer. But in all cases, I would definitely not approach an area of a building that looked to be a little bit sketchy, that looked to be like it was going to collapse or fall in on me at any point. Also, I'd never go into a building where the roof structure looks really, really unsteady or unsafe, because, you know, again, if that goes and you're underneath it, there's a lot of tonnage that's going to come down on your head there. It's not going to end very well, is it, you know? So that's it, really, I think. Yeah, just make sure that you take a whistle, you take a mobile phone. Also, you need to take at least one charger. Take one power bank, because you know, you may need it. Anything else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. First aid kit, just with basics in it, because you never know. You know, if you could cut yourself on something, if you neglect to clean it, you know, it's gonna go septic, isn't it? And it's gonna, you know, can end up making you very ill. I know that sounds a bit extreme, but that is it's a real possibility. Winter, just be careful, particularly in winter, because, you know, that's another element. That's a season that will close you off entirely from accessing other people if you're in the middle of a remote area. You know, and you can get snowed in at points. It's happened to me before. Luckily, not that badly, but you know, I've been stuck for a couple of hours of that. But if you're in the middle of nowhere, say you live in sort of the United States or America or Australia, and it's a vast continent, and, you know, destinations between one habitation and another could be literally hundreds and hundreds of miles, thousands of miles in some instances, I should imagine. And if you're out there in the middle of nowhere, you know, nobody's going to find you. So yeah, just make sure. I mean, the most important thing is the mobile phone, the chargers, you know, the power banks, and a whistle, definitely. I kind of guess if you're going to go somewhere really remote, then you're probably better off taking, I don't know if you can get them. You used to be able to get some sort of small flares, but that's that's the extreme end of going in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, just let everybody know where you're going, let a few people know where you're going, and give them that time frame. Hopefully, that should keep you safe. And just be safe out there. And obviously, if you're going to go out in the middle of winter, dress appropriately. I've been on investigations with people in the middle of winter, and they've gone out in sort of a t-shirt and just a very thin jacket. And of course, what happens is, if you're there for 3 or 4 hours, you don't even notice it, but you're getting colder and colder and colder. And, you know, it's a very real threat that you could end up with something like hypothermia. You know, it's not an extreme stretch, or even pneumonia. So just make sure that you dress accordingly. Wear good stout boots as well if you're going out exploring. You know, trainers are okay, but you need something that's going to protect your ankles and your toes in case anything falls on your feet when you're scrabbling through a disused building, or if in case you go over, you need to support your ankle, because you don't want to break your ankle. And a good boot, good solid thick boot, is going to afford you that protection. So I think that's about it, guys, really. I hope that's it. If you've got any ideas or anything that you think that could be added to that, please go ahead and let me know down in the comments. And yeah, I suggest that, you know, if there are comments on this, that everybody looks down them, because there may be something that I've neglected to say that is you know, let's not be I'm not being too dramatic. It could save your life, you know, or it could save you a very, very, at the least, a very, very, very horrible time. So yeah, that's it, guys. So that was a question that was a video that I put up because Pearl Man asked me. Go and have a look at his channel. I enjoy, as I say, his videos, and yeah, it's lots of fun. Watching the places he goes to is real good fun. So I'll speak to you all later. Bye now, guys. Bye. In my haste, I very nearly forgot, but luckily I've remembered. Something else that you need to take with you is you need to take a torch. Because if you're out of earshot, sometimes you'll be able to use a torch to indicate where you are, especially at night. Well, really at night. You also, be an idea to take some energy bars as well. Just keep some energy bars stacked in your backpack so that you can access them if you're injured and you're sort of sitting there for a while. And take some water, very, very important, water. So then you've got everything really that you would need in case of an emergency. So I would suggest taking quite a few energy bars, just in case you're stuck there for a while. And something else, and you can buy them cheaply off the internet now, are these space blankets, these silver blankets. They fold up into something sort of a 2-inch, 3-inch square, so there's nothing. Take one of those with you or two of those, and then you've got, at least you've got something that's going to help you to retain some heat in your body. That's it really. I hope that helps everybody and makes some semblance of sense. And I will speak to you on the next video. So thanks very much for that, Pearl Man, for requesting that I do a video on that. And I hope that it meets the criteria that you wanted it to meet, and also helps other people. We're not really reliant on a lot of that stuff over here because we are on quite a small island, so you do end up in areas that are remote and tucked out of the way, and you can end up stuck for days on end. But overall, you're going to come across somebody at some point, hopefully. So we're not too bad over here. But if you live on a continent like North America, Australia, or wherever, then those are things that you're going to need to definitely do. To be honest, even over here, I would do them. Even in winter on a ghost hunt, I always take these space blankets with me, these silver blankets, because they're thin, they're folded up really small, they're a couple of quid or a few dollars on the internet, and it's going to save you a lot. It could save you a bad outcome. So that's it really. So take care, guys, and I will speak to you in the next video, as I say. Bye.